It all started with a message in the family group on WhatsApp. There I was, lying at the reception of the clinical hospital, typing for mine. I'm in the hospital. Emergency operation. I need them to search me later, please. The answer? Silence. Until my mother lets out. Stop with this drama. Helena, don't spoil our trip to Egypt. It was at this moment that something inside me broke. My name is Elena Ramachova. I am 29 years old and I work at a marketing agency in the heart of Moscow. Nothing extraordinary, just an office in a commercial building in White Square, with a salary that would give to live if it wasn't for my family. Since I was a child, I was the older sister, the guardian. Lisa has 24, Anton 25, and somehow all their problems have become mine. It started in adolescence. My parents always complained of money. Sometimes it was Lisa's new sneakers, sometimes Anton's private classes. And I, at 16, silly, got a cashier job at the supermarket, working on nights and weekends. He thought it would be temporary until they restructured. My mistake. In college, it got worse. I paid the economy course at a private university and still shouted as a waitress to send money home. Meanwhile, Lisa and Anton grew spoiled. New cell phone every year in the booklet. Brand clothes. Ballads. After all, I was the older sister. I had to help. After graduation, the demands only increased. Anton bought a Skoda in financing. Guess who paid the installments when he became unemployed? Lisa rented a room in an apartment in the Taganka region and forgot to transfer her part. Not to mention the credit cards, they filled like confetti. Calling, crying, Elena, help, interest is drowning me. And I still had my parents. The house mortgage in Medvedkovo, 70,000 rubles per month that I deposited religiously in my father's account. It's just getting a better job, he said, 3 years ago. But I never complained. Family is family. Isn't it that Tuesday? Everything seemed normal. I was in Kharking, ending a presentation for Mr. Jirovlev, an important furniture customer. I needed to impress. That's when the pain came acute on the right side of the abdomen. I thought it must be the lunch salad. I took water, tried to concentrate, but the pain was not passing. On the contrary, it grew, throbbing, as if someone stuck a bake in my belly. At noon, I was already sick. I ran to the bathroom, where Svetlana, from accounting, found me pale, clinging to the sink. Elena, what is it? You're horrible. She alarmed herself. It must be something I ate. I tried to disguise, but another wave of pain bent me in half. Enough. I'll call the ambulance. No, it's past, he insisted. I managed to go back to the table and, for 2 hours, the pain relieved. I even sent a presentation, but at 3 p.m., she came back with everything. I fell on the table. Breathing hurt. Think impossible. Svetlana no longer accepted excuses and died 103 in 15 minutes. The team arrived. A young coach and a 50-year-old doctor. They felt my belly, measured the pressure, exchanged glances. It seems acute appendicitis, said the doctor. We took it to the urgent clinical hospital. In the ambulance, I trembled in pain or fear. I don't know. It had never been operated. In the emergency, everything turned fast. Exams, tomography, consultation with the surgeon. Dr. Martinov, a gray-haired man in dark circles, analyzed the results and shook his head. Elena Stanislavovna, you have phlegmous appendicitis. We need to operate now, otherwise you can break. It's dangerous. It can lead to peritonitis. How long will I be here? At least 3 days. After surgery, do you need rest and special diet? Is there anyone to pick you up? Of course, lied. An entire family. Preoperatively, they gave me a cell phone to warn mine. My hands trembled as I opened the family group. Mother, father, Lisa, Anton, all online. I typed, hi, guys. I'm in the clinician hospital. Such room. Acute appendicitis. I go to surgery now. I'll be about 3 days here. I need them to seek me later and help me at home at the beginning. I send the address later. I waited 5 minutes. 10. Silence. Elena Stanislavovna, it's time, said Nurse Lydia, taking her cell phone out of my hands. Your family members can call the reception. The last thing I remember, the green walls of the operating room and the anesthesia mask on my face. I woke up in the ward, asking the cell phone was mine. First act. The nurse handed me smiling. How's you feeling? Surgery was a success. The doctor said that if it took more, it would be peritonitis. Lucky for arrived in time. Did anyone call? Yes, co-workers asked. They wanted improvements. From work, not from home. Opening WhatsApp with trembling fingers was like facing a knife. In the family group, new messages. Lisa answered 2 hours after my warning. Wow, Helena, even a child takes appendix. Why this post is at Sheremevo Airport. What a bad time. Seriously. Anton supported. Sister, we planned this trip 6 months ago. All inclusive. 5-star hotel. We weren't going to cancel because of an appendix, but it was my mother who destroyed me. Elena, enough of the scene. Taking appendix is like pulling a tooth. Nonsense. Don't spoil our rest with your dramas. In a week we talked. I looked at the screen, incredulously. Then I typed only, I got it. I had no strength for anything else. In the first 24 hours after the surgery, I was lying down, looking at the ceiling. He checked the cell phone every half an hour. Maybe someone touched. Maybe someone would ask how I was. Nothing. And then came the avalanche. I remembered everything. How, last year, I had to get Lisa at the police station at 3 a.m. after she drank too much on her birthday and got confused in a karaoke. I paid the fine. How Anton beat Skoda on a post. The insurer denied the accident because he was drunk. And who paid the repair? How my mother needed emergency dental implants. It's only 200,000. Alenachka, but you understand. The plan doesn't cover, and I can't run out of teeth. I took a loan. And now, they are in Sharm el-Sheikh, taking cocktails by the pool, while I recover myself. The wing nurses were my safe haven. Lydia brought me extra pillows when I complained about discomfort. Nasta, intern, a young girl, took me jamming out of time. What else are you going to do here? At least you eat something tasty. On the third day, a woman with a severe suit appeared. Anna Patrishina, specialist in hospital accounts. Elena Stanislavovna, we need to talk about payment. You have a family health plan for work, right? Yes, the maximum package, with 1 million coverage for hospitalizations. She flipped the papers. The limit was exhausted. Strange. Usually an appendectomy is well within the coverage. Does anyone in your family have serious treatment this year? Something froze inside me. No, I know. Well, then I didn't have to hear the rest. I'd already knew that I won't play your life anymore. Not even a ruble. The silence that followed was so dense that you could cut with a knife. The faces have changed color, from the flushing of indignation to the white of panic. My mother was the first to react, with that melodramatic tone I always used when I wanted to manipulate Alenachka. You're not well. The operation affected his head. How can you do this with us? After all we did for you! Everything they did? I repeated, with a dry laugh that surprised me. You left me alone in a hospital as you sucked my medical insurance so Liska could liposuction at her resort. Is that what you call do for me? It was an aesthetic emergency. Justified Liska, crossing his arms over his newly sick head. I had to be perfect for the photos! Aesthetic emergency. The words went slowly, as if I chewed every syllable. As I blew on an operating table, you prioritized photos, and now have the wooden face to come here to demand explanations. Me father tried to take control. As always, you're exaggerating. We just want to understand why you canceled everything without warning. This is irresponsible! Irresponsible. I got up despite the throbbing pain in the scar. I worked folded the last 5 years to pay the hypothesis of this house. I pointed to the wall, as if he could see through her. The apartment they occupied to pay Liska's debts on the card, to play Anton's car, which even fixed job has. And when I needed it, you didn't even answer a message. So explain to me, where is your responsibility? We were traveling, shouted Anton, as if that justified everything. We couldn't do anything! They couldn't. I nodded, feeling the weight of the words. So it is. Now you will learn what it is not to be able to, because from today, each one turns alone. The hypothesis, your problem, Anton's car. How about selling and buying a used one? Liska's accounts, arrange a job, like anyone normal. My mother started to cry, calculated tears. As always, you're abandoning us. After everything we invest in you! Did you invest? A bitter laugh escaped. You used me as a call box with legs. And do you know what is worse? I left. But that is over. Liska advanced, with eyes full of poison. You are an ungrateful. Without us, you would be nothing! Your mistake. I looked at her in my eyes for the first time without fear. Without you, I will finally find out who I am. And then, with a gesture that seemed liberating, I closed the door in their face. On the other side, I heard the screams, the threats, the appeals. But for the first time in years, silence inside me was higher. I took my cell phone and opened the conversation with Katia. They came. I typed. The answer was instantaneous: and he finished. Three dots blinked on the screen. After : now yes, your life begins. Yellow heart, and for the first time in a long time, I believed it. They didn't even ask how I was. They only talked about money. We are your family, shouted my mother. We have always been by your side. Where were you 6 days ago, when I was alone in the hospital? We were on vacation. Lisa shouted. We couldn't abandon everything. And could I leave everything for you? I'd always could. When Anton destroyed the car, when I had to get it out of the police station, when money was lacking for college, for rent, for the mortgage. It's different. Cut my mother different. Why? She choked. Because I am the oldest. Because I have to handle it exactly. I always had to turn around alone and Lisa, why did I take you out of my insurance? Because as they cut me the appendix, you used my limit to suck your body fat. I had to pay 100,000 more because you spent everything on liposuction. Lisa blushed. It was an important surgery. I planned for 6 months. More important than my appendix. More important than the risk of peritonitis. More important than your sister's life. We couldn't cancel the trip. If we weren't now, we would have to wait months. I opened my notebook in silence and showed the bank screen. All canceled automatic payments. One by one. Congratulations. Now you will have plenty of time to find out how to pay for everything alone. It was then that hell settled. My father shouted on ingratitude and betrayal. My mother cried that I was destroying the family. Lisa writhing, saying that I was ruining her life. Anton never threatened to talk to me again. Get out, I shouted as I had never shouted before. Get out of my house, now, or I call the police. Don't dare, his father. I took the phone and started dialing 112. They left. But before closing the door, my mother turned. You'll regret it, Elena. The family is everything you have. No, the family was all you had. And you lost her. A week later, Aunt Gallia, my father's sister, called. The trembling, cautious voice. Elenachka, honey, I heard you were in the hospital. How are you? I'm better. Thanks. They took my appendix. Appendix? When was that? 2 weeks ago. A long pause. Honey, your parents are telling everyone that you had a nervous outbreak. They say they are spreading lies about them and that we better not get involved, because you're not right from the head. My blood boiled. Nervous outbreak. They say I envied their holidays, that I invented stories to draw attention. But I don't believe it. That's why I decided to call. I told Aunt Gallia everything, from beginning to end. When I finished, she was silent for a long time. Elena, do you have tests? I sent the family chat prints, the insurer documents, the Lipo de Lisa vouchers, the copies of the canceled payments. An hour later, she called back. My God, girl, forgive me. I had no idea what they did to you. I'll call all the relatives right now. I'll tell you the truth. And she called. In the following days, my phone would not stop. Cousins, uncles, other aunts, everyone apologizing, asking how I was, shocked by what had really happened. A few weeks later, my cousin Irina told me that my parents' reputation was destroyed. Old friends cut contact. Even the neighbors of the building began to look aside. Anton had to go back to his parents' house. Could not pay rent and portion of the car at the same time. Ended up selling his Skoda and buying an old can. Lisa could not stand the rent either. She moved to her friend Rita's house, sleeps on the couch, divides the bills as she can. He kept writing me, begging for help. I didn't answer. My parents were forced to get fixed jobs again. It's amazing how everything collapsed as soon as I stopped banking them. In the beginning, I felt a little blame, but then I remembered how they treated me at my worst moment and the guilt disappeared. About a year later, at work, a call of a known number. I almost hung up, but something made me answer. Elena, it's me, your mother. Listen, I need your help. I need a sinus lift, and insurance does not cover. There are only 200,000. No, please, Elena. You can't just abandon us. I am not abandoning you. I'm doing exactly what you did to me. It's different. You didn't need us. It was all right with you. I needed you. And you left me alone in a hospital bed after emergency surgery. Now you need me. And I leave them alone with the problems of their teeth. She cried. Elena, please, it's so hard. Your father can't work because of the spine. I get all day standing in the market. Anton sold the car. Lisa sleeps on a friend's couch. We need you. They should have thought about it when they decided to vacation were more important than their daughter's health. We make mistakes. Can't you forgive? Of course I can. Forgive, but I will not help. There is a difference. I hung up. I blocked the number. It was 6 months ago. Since then, not even a PO. And to be honest, my life was never better. Before. I lived distressed with money. I had to support 4 adults. Now, for the first time, I have real economies. I was promoted. My boss said I'm more focused, more productive. The quality of my work has improved visibly. I found that when it does not spend energy on the financial problems of others, it is possible to dedicate itself to its own career. Katia and Sasha remain my best friends. They also noticed the change. Pair S, you took a weight out of the back, Katia said last week, as if he carried a stone backpack for years and finally let her go. And now I really smiled, not that forced, when I was worried about them. She's right. I feel lighter, freer. Sometimes I wonder if one day I will talk to my parents again, Lisa and Anton. Perhaps if they recognize what they did and really apologize. But I don't have many hopes. And to be honest, it makes no difference. For years, I was the family ATM, the emergency service, the universal problem solving. I gave up my dreams, my stability, my peace for people who didn't even send a message when I was at the operating table. Now, for the first time, I live for me. I keep money for an apartment. I think of doing a master's degree in HSE or RAMPA. I can travel, either to Altai or to Europe. And I need not ask for permission to anyone. Don't even worry about if you will be money after paying the bills of others. Those days at the hospital have taught me a crucial lesson. People will treat you the way you allow it. For years, I allowed them to take, and take, without ever returning. I thought that was love. But true love is not unilateral. It shows itself when you need it most. Then setting limits is not betrayal. It is maturity.